Okay. Part two in the series, since so many people seem to have issues with this, is the parts factory. The parts factory is actually pretty simple. It's kind of like, I'm trying to remember, there are some old school games that used to have stuff like this for like, crafting weapons and all that different sort of stuff, which is effectively the same exact gig that you're doing here. There are a couple different ways that you can do this. I always like to check out the leveling first. So basically, level 1, you're going to unlock the Trailblazer, which is going to be for the gathering stuff. Level 2, you start being able to produce or put into the line. You can put in 2 different material crafting slots. Level 4, you get an additional one. Level 5, you can start crafting parts for all of the different types of APCs that you can build. Level 8, you get another additional. Level 10, you get another additional, and then you get jack shit this whole way down to 20. The power doesn't actually reflect the cost of this. So I'm at level 14 right now. I'll show you what the cost for 15 is. But if I were to upgrade this, that's going to take 18,000 cores. Just as a place of reference, my level 16, if I were to upgrade that, that'll take 9.9 million energy, which is a shit ton, especially since you can't buy energy unless you have the VIP or you're paying cash for it. So that's like, let's just say $12 worth of energy if you were paying cash for it. Otherwise, you'd have to use a shit ton of fuel to actually like build this up. So if you do have the VIP store, you can go there. You can buy that through the VIP store. But I'll touch on VIP here in a second. With the parts factory, you start off with materials. Basically, you start off by crafting these materials. And you have different durations. The sensor here takes an hour 6. This one takes 22, 22, 22. Obviously, the sensor is going to be the most coveted piece, since it is actually, I'll show you what it's used for here in a second. But I will always load up with the same exact piece by sliding that in every single time, so that when I go to my depot, it looks like this. I'm going to have 28 of these guys ready for leveling up. So these start off at my gray level. I combine, there's a little glitchy there. I combine all of these to create 4 of those, create 1 green. And I go up again, I create a blue one from those, and now I'm maxed on those. You do that all the way up to these orange pieces, and if you really want, you can go up to the gold pieces, and that just takes a ton of time on each of these pieces. I haven't actually crafted any of my Trailblazer pieces yet, so this is after like a month of gameplay, how many pieces I have, because it does take a while to combine them. I mean, these guys, I have 1 of these guys, and this comes from, well, leveling up 4 different levels multiplied by 4 each time, to a factor of 4 each time, to get this, and each of those costs an hour to build. So that's a lot of hours. So obviously you can check the materials you have for each different APC type. And I would highly suggest focusing on one of these 2. The Phantom is going to be for your for your vehicle troops. The Ranger is going to be for your ranged troops. For me, I go a heavy defensive set on my APCs. So I actually focus on my ranged as a defensive set, which might sound kind of counter to, well, everything else in the game, but most people hit with all vehicle sets. So my defensive APC is all ranged. So what I like to do, since I can't craft these yet, because as you saw before, I can only start crafting materials at level 20, which is what I'm trying to build up to, is so I can craft range of materials. Basically, because I can't craft these yet, I have to go to the material shop. The material shop, you get these guys by killing zombies above level 10 and doing daily challenges. The daily challenge, take a look, that's going to get me all of this, but this level of it is going to get me 120 energy fragments. I aim, and 60 for the first one, I aim to hit, almost in every single event, I aim to hit this box right here at an absolute minimum. because then I'm getting like, say, 500 diamonds and 120 energy or 180 energy fragments total, with a little bit of other stuff in there too. You know, some research tech speed ups and stuff like that. But it just helps speed that along to get your materials up. In terms of the tech for materials or tech for any of that sort of stuff, I don't really think that it's worth it until you get to level 20, because with this, if you were to take a look at the parts production, like you can get an extra column, you can speed up production, you get an extra column, speed up production, get an extra column, and then all of a sudden your crafting stuff goes up. So now you can speed up your crafting. Well, the crafting really doesn't take that long. 20% faster. I think like the last gold piece that I crafted was 2 days, which is like, I don't know. That's pretty quick, especially when you have a lot of speed ups. So 20% faster is nothing. So this tech is just kind of useless, but at the same time, if you take a look at this one, yeah, this is costing me 1 million fuel. Well, this is only level 12 of 20. It's going to actually cost me a lot, because this is going to give me some semi-decent power in there. But if you were to scroll this whole way down, you can get an extra additional, 2 extra additional energy factories. You can scroll down even further. You get another material column. Then stuff speeds up even. The requirement for this stuff speeds up or decreases, which is nice, but like that's again saving 20% of say 24,000 energy cores really is not actually that much. And then finally you get all the way down to the bottom here and you actually have your green material crafting. That's got to take a shit ton of time to get there, and resources as well, which I don't really have, and kind of not really interested in. I've never seen anyone with this built out the whole way, because that's too much tech. Like too many level 20s in here, too many of that stuff. Plus this all takes energy cores to do. And even if you just look at the latest one that I've done on here, it's going to take 260 energy cores. It's just not worth it to me. So instead I just keep the materials churning through. Maybe at some point I'll go through and do that tech, but not until everything else is maxed. So anyway, back to how all this goes. I think we're about to start a cause event shortly. I think it's 8 o'clock, yeah. So basically, with all of this, there are a couple different ways that you can actually get the materials for these guys that you need. Material shop is one. I said I'd hit on VIP here as well. So VIP, if you are a VIP and you've bought that pack, which is $100, you can come right here. You can get all of this stuff if you want to, or you can spend it on this stuff here. So I usually get the lucky raffle pack because it does almost always pay off. But then if you notice, there's a quality Trailblazer pack, 4K per piece. If I were to load up on 10 of those, that's only 40K experience to get those, which is 40% of your 25K invested into the 100K VIP points. So really not that expensive. So if I see like a quality Ranger chest or a quality Dreadnought chest or a quality, whatever the other one is, chest for 4K, I'm going to buy that. Because this is actually going to get me 1 to 3 purple pieces, whereas if I were to just buy it through the store here, if you go others, you can see the store. If I were to just buy this, again, it's going to give me 1 to 3, but it's 4,500 per piece. Now, if I had to buy 10 of those, like I was going to in the other store, that's 4,500. So effectively, you are buying the Ranger sets. If they're in the VIP store, you're buying them for for about 10% or 20% of the price that you would buy them out here. So almost always buy your parts, your pieces, your materials, if they're in here. This is going to be a much better investment to just go and buy the VIP points and then apply it to this, rather than to spend the money straight through the store. So I've done that a lot, which is how my APC stuff, this is all my farming setup right now, which I'll be pulling these farms in for the gather event. I'll do a video on that in a second. But basically, yeah, if you click on my parts here, so I've made my own gold parts, I've made my own orange parts. All of these have been built out through that process to actually go through and by killing lots of zombies, by killing lots of stuff, by hitting lots of daily challenges, very particularly, going through and actually like breaking that down, but always selecting Ranger for myself right now so that I can get, because I think if I have 2 gold parts on this guy here, it'll just be absolutely beastly. Right now I just have 1, but if I were to say get this up the whole way, my marching speed, my resistance, my troop load would be higher. If I would, any number of different combinations that I could do. For me, it all depends on just which resources I pull from those, or which materials I pull from those packs that just allow me to build. Then finally, when you do have enough pieces that you're interested in building, click craft, click on the particular thing that you're interested in, and then craft. So this one's showing 61%. There's no way I'm going to build this because in all likelihood I'm going to get probably green or blue, which means I've just gone and wasted my orange parts. All of these should be at like 61. I could go another one of these guys, but I already have one. So for all of these, you're just trying to get whatever maximum level here that you could possibly think of. I'm not going to be crafting anything that's below a gold right now, because I want kind of end game pieces, regardless of what that's for. So right now I'm rocking, some of these from some events that they have. Well, that's getting me 15% more food gathered in the same time with a increased with increased speed. But if I were to wait all the way until I got to here, then that gets me an extra 60% and 50% speed. That's actually much more beneficial to me. So I just pick and choose. I did say before that the parts that the materials that I am crafting right now, the motherboard thing, the sensor, is the most coveted piece. And the reason for that is when you go to craft that Trailblazer and you go here, the Grizzly Bear light armor here, this takes all sensors. So that takes 3 sensors. Now, if you take a look at those attributes that this gives, 20% troop resistance when gathering, extra resources gathered, 20%, and 20% gathering speed. Obviously, that is the best piece to have on your APC. You have gathering speed, you have extra resources. So for the 5 hours that you send it out, you're going to get 20% extra. Everything else is pretty specific or particular, but if you get that onto all of your gathering APCs at 20%, then that's going to be pretty sick. Obviously, right now I'm sitting at this one here, which is 5%. I want it 4 times better, so I want to get it up to that one. I have the chance right now to get it twice as good, but still this gold one's significantly better. So I wait for that one, even though it takes like forever to do that. I don't really worry with any of the rally stuff. I have never actually rallied anyone. Maybe if you're in a desperate attempt to get the launch center, you would actually rally. But I don't really see the big benefit in any of this unless everyone loads fighters into an APC and it's a full fighter APC rally, which doesn't really make sense to me, but whatever. But yeah, I just pick on one of these. I go and hammer on that for a little bit till I get all gold, buying through material shop and some other stuff. If you do have the VIP shop, just go and utilize it as much as possible. Everything's significantly cheaper. I mean, that Trailblazer chest is significantly cheaper than anywhere else. And yeah, that's how I run my parts factory. Should be pretty self-explanatory and simple. You just need 4 to build one. You want to build the highest level as possible and not waste your materials once you get there. Cool. All right. Any comments, just leave them in the comment section.